Famous YouTuber Cody Co is now under fire after some very serious allegations have been made against him by another famous YouTuber named Tana Mongeau. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Guys, it seems like today we're getting into a little bit of YouTube drama, and by YouTube drama, I mean serious criminal allegations that have been made against famous YouTuber Cody Ko. Now we're gonna get straight into the story here. Tana Mongeau, who is a famous YouTuber slash podcaster, best known for her storytelling, and this storytelling revolves around her life, her upbringing, partying, her partners. You get the gist here. She has a podcast called the Cancelled Podcast, which has really rose to prominence. She also has a long-standing career on YouTube and is considered sort of an OG YouTuber. Now, her and her co-host Brooke put on these public events where fans can come and listen to them speak about these stories, ask them questions, and at one point Tana Mongeau was asked who is the smallest you-know-what she's ever been with. Tana answered this question and remarked that it was Cody Co and said that she was allowed to say that because she was 17 at the time and he was in his 20s. And I guess this was rumored within the YouTube space for quite some time, at least according to some fans of both Cody Co and Tana Mongeau. And Tana went on her Cancelled podcast to talk about this a little further, to dive into the allegation here that is now being made against Cody Co, and I'll let her speak for herself so you can hear it.
I hooked up with Cody Co when I was 17 and he was 25. Yeah, it happened. And I think that, first of all, I'm trying to think about it from a perspective of like a younger sister or someone that I really care about. Even the other day, like I was texting just about her life and everything that's going on in her life right now. And I thought to myself, like, how protective I was over her, especially before she was 18. And if something like that was happening to her, I would never let it fly. Well, you know what I mean?
It's honestly disgusting. And I also think when you're that age, you think you know everything and you think you're way more mature than you actually are. Mm-hmm. And then from our age now, we can look at it in hindsight's 2020 and it's like, oh my God, you were a child.
Yes.
You were young.
I think a lot of things like that happened to me as well, because I really did have to grow up severely at a really young age.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like by the time I was 16, I truly was just like, even when it came down to knowledge and wisdom and everything, I was a 21-year-old.
You were forced to grow up so early.
And because of that, a lot of ended up happening to me that probably shouldn't have happened, right?
Yeah.
And I think that I also have a really bad case of to be 100% truthful, when I look back at the Cody situation, I definitely am like, why was he doing that? You know what I mean? And there were so many situations. There was a situation with Gabby Hanna at a Playlist Live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up. And I can look at that and be like, why the were you doing that? But there isn't a part of me, at least at 25 now. I mean, I look back and I would never do anything like that. So I'm like, what the was wrong with you?
Yeah.
But I don't associate or hold it with trauma because I am such a comparative person.
Okay, so there you go. There's a breakdown of the allegation. And of course, on this channel, as always, we are innocent until proven guilty. Right now, we have Tana's words and we have Cody's radio silence. He has not responded to the allegations that have been made against him. And Tana has laid out quite a claim, not only that they slept together when she was 17 and he was 25, but that he was well aware of her age. She stated that another YouTuber by the name of Gabby Hanna, who was also quite prominent at the time, actually told Cody Co at some sort of party or event, hey, Tana is 17, you need to stay away from her, this is not a good idea, and he went on to sleep with Tana anyways. And a quick shout out to D'Angelo Wallace and the many other YouTubers who have been talking about this story recently. D'Angelo actually found a clip of Gabby Hanna talking about this incident, although she does not name the name Cody Co. I want to make that very clear. Let's roll the clip.
One time, I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she looks a little older, she's underage, watch it. And he's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. And then he heard that.
So there you go. The clip gets a little cut off there, but you get the gist of the story that's being told. And again, people are assuming she is talking about Cody Co. We do not know that for sure, as we don't have much evidence in this case. Tana has also stated that she teased telling this story of the older man that she slept with when she was 17 on a podcast where fans could hear, and she subsequently received a text from Cody Co. sort of checking in with her, asking, are we okay, letting her know that his wedding was coming up, probably as a means of saying, I have something important coming in my life. Is this going to be exposed anytime soon? Again, this is Tana's story. We have not yet heard anything from Cody Co. And I think it's important to go back in time to the time where these allegations would have really taken place and look at some of the content that was being posted on YouTube by these two separate parties. Tana and Cody Co actually appeared in a YouTube video together about 8 years ago where they have an interesting, now in retrospect, kind of uncomfortable conversation given the claim that Tana is making. Let's watch.
Teach me some slang. Teach me some teen slang.
Okay, well, I was gonna like write it.
Alright, so I'm way too old to be on YouTube, obviously.
Same. I mean, I turned to really soon, and it's just kind of like the end of my career. You know, it's
sad. I mean, you need to stop.
yeah. Honestly,
I'm joking.
this is it.
She knows a whole bunch of slang and cool words because she's, a teen, whatever. So I'm here basically just to learn some teen slang, right? So do you want to?
What's with the laughing? What's with the multiple uses of the word teen with a very, uncomfortable look on the face, seemingly suggesting that something has happened? Again, allegedly. Now, that video was posted on Tana's page in May of 2016. I also think it's important to note some of the other content that Tana was making at the time that really led to her rise on YouTube, because a lot of people, I think, are going to talk about Tana's perception within the YouTube realm. In 2015, December of that year, Tana was posting a story time that ended up going majorly viral, titled, I Got Banged with a Toothbrush story time. Now, she doesn't actually tell the story that the title insinuates. She actually talks about a rumor that was spread about her where a man said that this is what happened. But a lot of Tana's content was of a very sexual nature. She's talking about partying. She's talking about doing drugs. She's talking about men. So you can understand why some people, when talking about this story, might not place too much harshness on Cody Co for his interaction with Tana. Let's go to Tana's page and read some of the titles of the videos she was posting around 8 years ago where this is alleged to have happened. First Kiss Story Time, Teen Drinking, EDC, that was 9 years ago. Getting Wet in San Diego, Vlog, 8 years ago. I Talk About Anal Sex, 8 years ago. My Gross Fetishes, 8 years ago. And this is mixed in with a lot of other content about her life and things going on, her pet peeves, a stalker she's been dealing with. You get the gist as to the content that Tana was putting out. So a lot of people, I guess, lack sympathy for her in this situation because of the type of content that she was putting out, because she was partying a lot, and because she was really on the brink, I guess, of this being illegal in the fact that she was 17 and he was 25. And I can understand to a certain extent having that point of view. The lines are maybe a little bit blurred when it comes to this story, but at the end of the day, Cody Co was 25 years old. He knew that she was 17 years old, allegedly had somebody reinforce to him that she was 17 years old and that he should not do something with her, and then allegedly went on to commit the act. Now, it seems that Tana stated in her podcast that this would have taken place at a Playlist Live. Now, for those of you who don't know what Playlist Live is, it's like a huge YouTube convention, typically held in Orlando, Florida, or Washington, D.C., where YouTubers come to do meet and greets and talk to their fans, do these big shows, and entertain. I, myself, was a huge YouTube nerd. I watched way too many hours of YouTube every day when I was a kid, and I bought tickets to go to a Playlist Live in Orlando some time back. And to think that this could have been happening is just insane in retrospect. Now, if this actually did take place in Orlando, Florida, the statute of limitations on this alleged crime would just be up because Tana just turned 26, I believe, and in Florida, the statute of limitations is 8 years after the alleged victim turns 18. 17. Had this happened in California, where I believe Tana Mongeau and Cody Co currently reside, the statute of limitations is way up. It's about 1 to 3 years here. Now, as I said before, I'm innocent until proven guilty. We haven't heard too much evidence in this case. We just have Tana's words, the words of Gabby Hanna without a mention of the actual YouTuber involved, and that's about it. Cody Co has been radio silent. He has not responded. He has not talked to comments. He has not made a single video about this incident, and I don't know that he will. This rumor has been circulating for quite some time. Tana did finally mention his name weeks or months ago, and still nothing from Cody Co. Maybe he's hoping that this story does not pick up too much steam, although D'Angelo Wallace's video at the time of this recording is already at 1 million views, and several other YouTubers have covered this story as well. You would imagine that if these allegations were false, he would have come out very strongly and said this did not happen, but that is just imagination. Of course, I don't want to label somebody as guilty before I have further information. And I can understand from a man's perspective how you might feel some form of temptation towards somebody who is engaging with you in that way. But again, you are the adult in the situation, and an aware adult who knows what should and should not happen in that situation. And to go on and make that choice, despite the law, despite the warnings, despite the girl right in front of you who's telling you that she's 17, you've got a problem. I guess luckily for Cody Co at this stage, it is not a legal problem, but it's a problem nonetheless. And of course, Cody Co is in a different stage of his life now. He's married. He's just brought into the world his first child. So I imagine this is a jarring thing to have brought up 8 years later. But 8 years later, you are still a grown man who has allegedly slept with a teenager. And I want to note, I'm not a huge fan of this being pushed out into the court of public opinion. I would much rather this have been dealt with legally with a proper investigation and not 8 years later with allegations being made on a podcast titled Canceled. But I guess that's just the age that we live in now. It seems like most things are being settled on the internet rather than settled through the typical systems that are set up to deal with these things. It's interesting to juxtapose the difference in the content that's created by Cody Co and the content created by Tana. Tana is very much laying her whole life out there on the internet for everybody to see and hear about. She's constantly exposing people and stories from her life and laying bare all the different intimate details about what she has going on personally. While Cody Co presents a more polished version of a YouTuber, he picks a topic or a video to react to, gives a little bit of commentary, and only lets people into a small window of his life. That window's been shattered wide open, and I bet he doesn't quite know how to deal with this, which probably explains why he's been so silent on the matter. But I guess we shall wait and see. I'll say it for a third time. It's innocent until proven guilty on this channel. So if he's guilty, he's probably going to want to own up to it and take a little bit of accountability here. If he's innocent, wouldn't you want to maybe defend yourself and clear the air? And there's that. I'm not going to make a judgment here. I'm just giving you guys the story as it's come out so far, and we will see what happens. I've watched both of these YouTubers' content, so it's interesting to see this be the crossover between the two. Guys, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, I encourage healthy debate, so if you disagree with anything said in this video, duke it out, but do so respectfully. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video for you guys, which is every day, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.